Kritika here, your favorite social media dietitian, here to debunk myths and give you the nutrition facts. We are reporting live from Austin, Texas, where we're having a winter storm right now. Hold on, I clearly need more coffee because I'm not energized. Please excuse my hair, it's wet, but you know what? I was so excited to film this video that I'm like, I just can't. I can't dry it right now. I need to talk to you because this is important.
I need to tell you about the 4 foods you think are healthy but are actually not.
Without further ado, let's get into the first food,
which is coconut oil. So if you're an occasional coconut oil user and you have a generally healthy diet, you're eating lots of fruits and veggies, and you're not using it very often, that could be fine. Remember that coconut oil is very high in saturated fat. In fact, 90% of the fatty acid composition of coconut oil is saturated, more so than butter, 12 to 13 grams of saturated fat per tablespoon. So then where does this conflicting information come from about coconut oil being healthy? I think it might stem from many rodent studies that had been done showing possible health benefits, but remember, these are rodent studies, not humans, and human studies have actually not found that result to be true. Another downside to coconut oil is that it has a really low smoke point of only 350. If you cook it beyond that, it can create harmful compounds. That's why I personally like canola oil, olive oil, avocado oil. They have higher smoke points, they have a better fatty acid composition, and the scientific consensus from many reputable organizations, and this comes from many studies that are done, is that we should not be consuming so much of it. Only about 13 grams of saturated fat is recommended per day if you're eating about 2,000 calories a day, and a little bit is okay, but the American Heart Association says no more than 6% of our total calories should be coming from saturated fat because too much saturated fat can increase our risk of heart disease, even if it is coming just from coconut oil or plant-based sources.
Check out this video that I created on... See, I told you there's a winter storm. People are, crashing on the roads.
This video where I explain what questions to ask to make sure that you're getting the right information.
The second food that we may think is healthy but is actually not really is those pastas, the boxes of pasta that say that they contain vegetables.
It's like eating a whole serving of vegetables when you have this pasta.
I don't see any veggies in here. Do you?
Here's the thing, guys. When you're looking at food, when you're buying food in a grocery store, remember that the front of the package is 100% marketing. Companies want you to buy their food. Surprise, surprise, they want to make money. They will put whatever they need to put and go through whatever loopholes they want to go through for the front of the label to make that product more appealing for you. And a lot of us get tricked into that. A lot of us get fooled by the front of the label, but it never tells the whole story of the actual nutrition and the ingredients of that food.
When you investigate the ingredients, you'll see that the vegetables were added in a powdered or more processed form. And there's nothing wrong with this, but it's less nutritious than eating whole vegetables. And I think the problem I have as a dietitian is this being marketed as healthy and people thinking that this is a substitute for eating vegetables.
But those cannot replace actual vegetables in your diet. Fresh, frozen, and canned all count. Be careful with canned because it can have a lot of sodium. Can have a lot of sodium. Can have a lot of sodium. I know a lot of us want to, drink our athletic greens and take these supplements that claim to be full of antioxidants. If I were to choose this pasta and eat this, I would still be making most of my plate full of vegetables. Number 3 is gluten-free bread, or just going gluten-free in general. Gluten-free is not synonymous with healthy. Just because something is gluten-free doesn't automatically make it healthy. And just because you're eating a gluten-free diet doesn't mean you're eating a healthy diet. There are plenty of gluten-free things in this world that are not the healthiest to consume. And just choosing gluten-free bread over regular bread, there's nothing inherently healthier about that gluten-free bread, unless you have celiac disease or a gluten intolerance. But all that being said, there is nothing unhealthy about eating gluten unless you have those specific issues. No, it doesn't cause inflammation unless you actually have celiac disease or you seriously don't tolerate it. I think when you're looking for bread or when you're looking to make a healthy choice, there are a couple of guidelines that I like to give, which is number 1, making sure that the bread is high in fiber. Things like sourdough bread, white bread, I know they taste so delicious. Yes, they do, but they tend not to have much fiber. Look at the nutrition facts, see how much fiber it contains. Because for women, we want aiming for about 25 grams of fiber per day. For men, 35 to 38 even. And just because it's gluten-free bread doesn't mean that it has more fiber. Another thing I like to look for in my bread is that it's low in added sugars. You know, the Dave's Killer bread is notorious for having quite a lot of added sugar. I think at one point in this video, I even found one of those Dave's Killer bread to contain like 10 grams. Was it 10 grams of added sugar in 2 slices? Which is kind of crazy to me because I know a lot of people look at that bread as like a healthy option when most of the time I haven't been finding that to be true. I do like the thin slice Dave's Killer bread because they're like 60 or 70 calories and it's much lower in added sugars and it's like 5 grams of protein. And also for me personally, I can't speak for you because I don't know you, but for me, I like to look for breads that are typically lower in calories. I don't really like to choose breads that are like 100 calories or more because if I'm eating a sandwich, which if I'm eating bread, I'm eating a sandwich, you know what I mean? And there's so many breads out there these days that are like 60 calories and they taste really good, like the Nature's Own. Also, don't come for me in the comments if you don't want to hear about calories. I know that some people don't want to hear about that. They don't want to talk about that these days, but I'm going to talk about calories, okay? Yeah, we talk about calories here. You know, we have an open discussion about calories and all of that because I want to educate you guys. Not in like an obsessive, crazy, unsustainable way, but more in a let's be mindful about what we're consuming kind of way. So take a look in your pantry right now. I'll wait. Look at the serving size of your bread and look at how many calories it is, how much added sugar, how much protein, and how much fiber is in your bread. Bonus points if you also list the brand of that bread. So let me know in the comments all of that information. I'm gonna be looking forward to reading this. And the last one, what we think is healthy but is actually not, is
ooh, this is gonna hurt some people. This is gonna surprise some people. This is going to ruffle some feathers.
I'm gonna say it. It's those natural sweeteners like honey, agave, coconut sugar, molasses, maple syrup, or like, I don't know, what are people using these days? Agave, right? Agave. There's really no significant health benefit to swapping out your regular sugar with agave or honey. It's not better for your health. It's not better for weight loss. It's not better for diabetes. Of course not. These things are not healthier for us. They're sugar packaged in a different form. They have the same amount of calories and the same amount of sugar per serving as plain old regular cane sugar. Marketing does a really good job at making you buy their products because they claim that it's made with these natural ingredients, even though it's processed in your body the same exact way regular sugar is.
And to be clear, I'm not talking about the non-nutritive sweeteners such as Splenda, stevia, monk fruit. Check out my other videos on those topics because that's different.
You know, it's still gonna spike your blood sugar. It's still gonna spike your insulin in the same way. It's still an added sugar and it still should be limited, no more than 25 grams a day for women, no more than 35 to 36 grams a day for men. Even though these types of sugars like agave and molasses may have a little bit more nutrition in terms of like maybe calcium, maybe a certain vitamin, maybe a micronutrient, even though it has a little bit of that in there, that doesn't necessarily make it healthy. And we don't want to rely on those foods to get those vitamins. That's not a healthy way to live. You would be need to be eating quite a lot of the sugar to get a significant amount of those vitamins and minerals. So if you enjoy it, that's fine. But remember, you don't have to consume those things to be healthy. I would rather you get your vitamins and minerals from whole food sources. And I actually have a whole video on this, like specifically what are the claims, specifically how are these sugars processed in our body. It was one of the first videos I created on my YouTube channel. So oldie but a goodie right here. Now, I cannot wait to read your comments below. If you have not commented yet, the code word for today, Wingardium Leviosa.
It's not Leviosa, it's Leviosa.
Okay, I'm just kidding. The code word for today is chocolate. The code word for today is chocolate. Type chocolate in the comments down below so I know who actually watched the whole video. Okay, I see you. And if you enjoyed this video, I would so appreciate if you hit that like button for me to let me know that you enjoy content like this. I can't wait to see you guys in my next video very soon. And don't forget to subscribe to